Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here with all of you. My name is Kalra. I represent San Jose in the state assembly. Anyone here from San Jose area? All right. Good to see some folks here. I'm also currently the chair of the State Assembly Judiciary Committee. I was myself a practicing lawyer. I worked as a public defender for 11 years before getting into elected office. And the judiciary, actually, the committee plays a critical role because a lot of the stuff on AI and privacy, consumer protections, and civil rights comes through our committee. And the committee process is used to vet bills and to ensure that we're doing the best we can to have policies that uplift Californians. Now, I grew up in San Jose since I was a little kid. And, being Gen X, I literally, from kindergarten to college, I grew up using a typewriter and graduated using a laptop and saw Silicon Valley kind of rise up before our eyes during the 80s into the 90s. And the promise of innovation, the promise of Silicon Valley was something that has been an inspiration to the whole world. A lot of you here grew up instinctively being drawn to a lot of that innovation, especially social media and what have you. And I'm someone that, certainly amongst my colleagues, probably uses social media more than most, and have seen certainly the benefits of it, but have also seen a lot of the troubling aspects of it. And that's why it's so important that as young people, you do have your voices heard. You are using social media in a way that hasn't been used before. You're using it prolifically, and yet your voices quite often are not heard in the development of that social media, in the guardrails that are being put up, in what you're not being allowed to see, kind of what you're being restricted from seeing, versus your ability to have a free flow of information. And so it's critically important that you use your voice. Being here is part of that. But use your voice in all the spaces that you occupy, which can be hard to do sometimes. I was pretty vocal about actions that have been taken or not taken against social media and the protection of our privacy and decisions they're making, including the rhetoric around TikTok versus other platforms. As someone that uses TikTok to share not only what I'm doing in my personal life, but in my political world. I've used it for conversations on CalCare. I introduced a single-payer healthcare bill, CalCare, or other types of policies that I support or put forward. It's an invaluable tool to use Instagram, TikTok, other kinds of social media platforms to share what we're doing. But as we've seen in recent weeks, let alone months, it can be scary that we're putting so much power into the very few that control those platforms, right? And it can be difficult at times to speak up to that kind of power. As someone that's been an elected official in Silicon Valley for many years, I try my best to use my voice and my platform. If I'm in a room full of Silicon Valley executives, I'll tell them, why aren't you hiring people from San Jose? Why aren't you hiring Latino kids in East San Jose? Why aren't you hiring folks? Why aren't you cultivating them for the kinds of jobs that are necessary well into the 21st century? Because what I see happening is a lot of companies will have STEM for girls, or they'll have, we bought computers for the African American Community Center, so they have a computer lab. All that stuff is great on the surface, but when you dig deep, what are they actually doing to uplift the communities? What are they doing to actually ensure that they're creating an equitable path towards economic liberation of everyone in our community? Now, by speaking up sometimes, it puts you in a position where you could be a target, but the reality is that, look, I don't think it benefits us to have companies, and then I'll say this, I know that you already said there's folks here from Meta, what have you. And the thing is, you have to be able to say it in spaces where folks are, where people in power are, for that action to have power. You just don't say it in your group of friends around the kitchen table where you hang out with your friends saying, oh, this is what I feel about this, that, and the other. You have to use your power to be able to say, no, I don't think it's right for Facebook or Instagram to take away fact checkers. I don't think it's right for Google to decide all of a sudden that they're not going to celebrate Women's History Month, Black History Month, or Pride because they're bending the knee to a tyrant. That's my opinion. I have the right to say that. And if I say it in positions where I actually have a voice, it has far more power than if I shrivel up into the corner. Now, does it also make you a target sometimes or put you in a position where you can, certainly feel the wrath? Absolutely. But I oftentimes say is I didn't get elected to get reelected. I got elected to represent the voice of my community, of the people in my community, the undocumented people in my community that are being demonized, the working class folks that are being squeezed and living 3-4 families in a household in my community. And so as long as I have this voice and this power, I'm going to use the technology that's available to me to share my thoughts with my community. And I'm going to call out those that are holding that power through these social media platforms, hold them to account to make sure that we actually have free access of use of it and can use the new town square in a way that uplifts everyone. So have a great day today. I'll be hanging around for a little while, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what especially some of the young people have to say. Thank you.